Well, greetings everyone and Merry Christmas from Wesley Biblical Seminary. I'm Dr. Matt Ayers, president of Wesley Biblical Seminary. The anticipation of Christ's coming begins not in the Gospels, but all the way back in the book of Genesis. In Genesis 3:15, God promises that all the trouble and strife in the world, and ultimately death, would be corrected and redeemed through Eve's offspring, who we know to be Jesus. Every verse of the Bible, from Genesis 3:15 onward, unfolds under the anticipation and hope for this child to be born and to crush the head of the serpent. This promise inspires hope for a world and life that is free from the tyranny of sin and corruption in the world. Furthermore, this promise and inspiration of hope is why there is such excitement around birth stories in the Scriptures. With every birth story, there is the question, is this the one that we've been waiting for? Is this the serpent crusher? Is this the offspring of Eve who will destroy the work of the devil? So when Seth is born, we ask, will Seth crush the head of the serpent? Then when Isaac is born, is this the one that we've been waiting for? What about Esau or Jacob? The answer to that question, of course, is no. God has someone else in mind. In the opening chapters of Exodus, we read the birth narrative of another baby, that is Moses, a deliverer who would be a foreshadowing of the one to come and ultimately vanquish sin and death. It's not by coincidence that the enemies of God resort to the mass murder of infants as a solution to the problem of God's people in the world. The fact that the demise of the serpent would come through a child born of a woman is why Pharaoh and then Herod later in the New Testament programmatically kill Israelite babies. What was true in the story of Moses' birth happens again at the time of Jesus' birth. The powers of darkness know that their end will come when God's promised child is born. How do they prevent that from happening? Kill all the babies. When we finally arrive at the New Testament and the birth narrative of Jesus, there's a palpable excitement in the air. The birth of Jesus is the fulfillment of that first gospel proclamation in Genesis 3:15. Through this child, the serpent will be no more. Jesus and his resurrection as the fulfillment of that hope are expressed repeatedly in the book of Revelation. In Revelation 1:18, Jesus says, I was dead, but look, I am alive forever and ever, and I hold the keys of death and Hades. Yes, Jesus has crushed the head of the ancient serpent. He has released humanity from the grip of the serpent. In doing so, he fulfills that ancient hope of all people. It is the hope of the risen one. Merry Christmas, and until next time.